We already looked at checking solutions of inequalities. Now we're going to look at graphing inequalities and see why we need to check things. The graph of a linear inequality in two variables shows all of the solutions of the inequality in a coordinate plane. Right? So all of the solutions that we're trying to find. All of the solutions, for example, of y is less than 2x, right, we would find by first graphing the boundary line y equals 2x, except just like when we graphed inequalities, when we solved inequalities way a long time ago, right, if I had greater than or equal to, we used a closed circle, right? A closed circle, right, is the same now as using a solid line on our graph. If I had greater than, but it wasn't or equal to, that meant that 2 wasn't a solution. We used an open circle on a number line. This is where we're going to use a dashed line on our graph. Right? So we graph it just like the equation, except we decide whether we need a solid line or a dashed line. The next thing we need to do is look at that line, which should divide our coordinate plane into two halves. This is why when we talked about graphing lines, we said it was going to be important to graph the whole line all the way across the graph. So it really did break our plane that we could see in half, right? They might not be equal halves, but into two pieces. We need to decide which part is shaded, which part is included, right? As we look at the two halves. We'll talk about how to do that in a minute. The last thing to think about is a dashed line, just like an open circle, would mean that the points that are on the line are not solutions, right? A solid line means the points on the line are solutions. So that's that idea of 8 is greater than 8, right? That would be a dashed line because it's not true, but 8 is greater than or equal to 8 would have been when we had a solid line, and that one was true. So let's go ahead and start graphing. Before we jump into two variables, let's go back and look at a couple examples of graphing a linear inequality in one variable on a coordinate plane instead of on a number line. Right? So if I want to graph x is less than or equal to -3, I go to my x-axis and I graph a point at -3, and then I say I need a vertical line. So these are all of the points. And if I'm really graphing it, I don't necessarily have to draw in all of those points, but these are all of the points where x is equal to -3. Since I have things that are less than or equal to, right, that symbol would have been a closed circle. That means we're going to use a solid line. So I'm going to connect those with a solid line. And remember to put arrows at the end. Hopefully my line is a little bit straighter if I use a ruler, right, if I was graphing it on paper. And then which way are the numbers less than -3, right? So I ask myself, well, is 0 less than -3? That's testing a point. That's what we worked on already. If it's not, right, 0 is not less than -3, right? It must be the other half that's shaded, not the half that 0's on. So it must be over here that numbers are less than -3. Or our second example, y is greater than 2. I go to my y-axis and plot my point at 2. Y represents the height. So all of these points are the points where the height is exactly 2. Right? But I don't want to graph where it's exactly 2. I want an inequality. Since it does not have or equal to, I know that the points where it is equal to 2 shouldn't be included. So we show that with a dashed line. Just like before, we would have used an open circle. Right? So I'm going to draw a dashed line. I'm still going to put arrows at the ends of my line. But now I need to look at shading. It tells me that y, I want all of the y values that are above 2, greater than 2. So I check a number like 0. Right? Is 0 greater than 2? It's not, so I don't want 0 to be shaded, which means I'm going to shade the other side of that dashed line, right? Or I could look at that and say y is greater than 2 means y is higher than 2, so it's above that line. What then are we going to do differently as we look at inequalities that have two variables, that have both x and y? If only having an x meant I had a vertical line, and only having a y meant I had a horizontal line, lines that have x's and y's go at an angle, right? And that's where the slope comes in. But the first thing we need to graph is the y-intercept. So these were our steps for graphing inequalities. We're going to look at actually applying those. So my first step, if it isn't already, I need to get y by itself, so it's in slope-intercept form. So I'm going to start by moving x to the other side. I'm going to subtract x from both sides. We've practiced this part quite a bit recently. So then 2y is greater than negative x and a positive 2. And when I divide everything by 2, that negative x is really a negative 1x. So it turns out that y is greater than negative 1/2 x plus 2 divided by 2 is 1. So this is the line that I'm really trying to graph. How am I going to graph that line? Well, first, I need to plot the points for that line like it was an equal sign. So I start at 1. Right, my y-intercept, that b value is 1. So I put a point at 1 on my graph, on the y-axis. Right. Then I need my slope, which was negative 1/2, which means I go down 1 and to the right 2. Down 1 to the right 2. Down 1 to the right 2. Or the complete opposite, it could be up 1 and to the left 2. I want to fit as many points as I can on that graph, right? So I get an accurate line, but also so that I make sure I go all the way across from one side to the other when I connect those. But before I connect them, I need to decide, step 2, should I connect those points with a dashed line or a solid line? So because I had a greater than symbol, I knew right away that this was going to use a dashed line. Right? So I have y is greater than, which tells me I have a dashed line. It also tells me y is more than. That means the height is more than something. The height is above. So we want to shade above once we get to our shading. If I connect those points with a dashed line and make sure that I go all the way to the ends of the graph so that I cut that plane, the square that we have for our graph, into 2 halves or 2 sections, right? I decide where to shade for my last step. So that third step is to decide which half to shade on. We have 2 options. We could choose a point like 0, 0 and test it. So if I do, I should always test all the way back in my original problem. So x plus 2y is greater than 2. 0 plus 2 times 0 is greater than 2. Well, 0 plus 0 is still 0. Is 0 greater than 2? That means this point 0, 0, it should not be shaded. So I'm going to shade on the other side. So that's one option for figuring out how to shade. But the problem with the second option, even though it's going to be a little bit quicker, is sometimes using the second option, option B, we have to be really careful to make sure we didn't forget to flip our symbol around when we were getting y by itself, right? That's where option B was just looking at that symbol and saying since it was greater than, we were going to shade above. Above the line means putting our pencil on the line somewhere. I'm going to put it at that point right there and going up and saying that's the half that I need to shade. Right? Okay, so it's a little quicker to use option B, but if we're going to use option B, we really have to be careful that when we get y by itself, right, that we did that part right first, right? Because if we made a mistake with our inequality symbol here If we tested a point in the original one, it'll still work. But if we made a mistake with our inequality and we just used the way it looks, we might have something wrong. So let's take a look at one more example of this together. If I start by getting y by itself, I need to subtract 2x from both sides. So I have negative 3y is greater than or equal to negative 2x plus 0. I don't necessarily have to show the plus 0, but it's not bad to show the plus 0 unless something was really being asked me to simplify, right? So then when I divide by negative 3, this was the important part. With inequalities, if you remember back, anytime we divided by a negative number, that was the key that told us we had to flip that symbol around so it really faced the other direction. So instead of y is greater than or equal to, I need y is less than or equal to. A negative divided by a negative is a positive, so 2/3 x, and 0 divided by anything is still 0. So I am graphing this line. If there was just a 2/3 x and I didn't put the 0 there, that would be okay also. How am I going to graph that line? Well, I need to know my y-intercept and plot that point on my graph for a start. Then I use my slope to plot more points. If my slope is 2/3, that means I go up 2 and to the right 3. Up 2 to the right 3, up 2 to the right 3. But that's the same as a negative divided by a negative, which would also be the same as down and to the left. So down 2 to the left 3, down 2 to the left 3. Next step, do I connect those with a solid line or a dashed line? Because my inequality symbol was greater than or equal to, right, greater than or equal to, and then when I got y by itself, it ended up being less than or equal to, right? It changed. That's where using those options when I decide how to shade could come in handy. If you think you're going to forget that, then maybe testing a point, even though it takes longer, is a good idea, right? But otherwise, I can look at this and say y is less than or equal to means I need a solid line because it has the or equal to. So I'm going to connect those with a solid line, my arrows at the end, and then my last step is to decide which half of that plane I need to shade, right? And since it ended up being y is less than or equal to, that told me to shade right where the height is below. Right? That's what y is less than tells me, to shade below. So I put my pencil at any point on that graph. I'm going to put it right here, and I say I'm going to shade below. So I go down, right? So I'm going to shade the half that has height that's less than that line. Okay, so again, put your pencil on the line and go straight down, and that's the half you want to shade. Now, if I was going to test a point this time, it wouldn't work to test 0. I'd have to pick another point that's not on my line. How about the point, well, I'm not sure, right? I may maybe want to try that point at 0, 1, but maybe I might accidentally use 1, 0, so maybe I shouldn't use that. How about 1, 1? Right? If I try 1, 1, in my original problem, 2 times 1 minus 3 times 1 is greater than or equal to 0. Well, that's 2 minus 3, which is negative 1. Is negative 1 greater than or equal to 0? So that point 1, 1 should not be shaded, right? And it's not the way we shaded on our graph. So you do not have to use option A and option B, right? You can just use the way the symbol's facing to tell you above or below, right? Less than is below, greater than is above. But it doesn't hurt to test a point or even say that's a good way to check your work after you're done also. So now it's your turn to practice.